Hi guys, I am here today to present a proposal to you around the topics and hot points and action steps that we touched on when we were together in your office. I have a written proposal here, and my objective today is to support my proposal with a visual narrative so that you can follow along to give a little context to what I say, how I say it, and what I'm looking at when I say it. So you don't necessarily have to watch me drone on, but unfortunately you got to listen for a couple minutes, I hope. With that, I'm going to go ahead and start. This is a proposal highlighting the locations online targeted for upgrade as a part of the revitalization of your brand online. As mentioned in our conversation in your office, the focus will be on website, Google My Business, current citations around the web, and Facebook. So I'm just going to start by popping up the existing website as we see it today. And I don't think that anyone in the group is adverse to the idea of a website update. This is currently what is online. I don't think that you think it does you a good service, and of course, nor do I. It is currently not secure. It's in a framework that is no longer supported. And so if you go over to my proposal that highlights in the first couple of bullets here, my intention is to build a new WordPress website. It is going to be inspired by one of the websites you shared with me. I did select one. It's going to include an SSL certificate, and that will take care of the not secure. It's going to be mobile ready. It's going to carry Google Analytics so that we can get data metrics off of it once it's launched onto the internet and starts to engage on your behalf. And then these last bullet points, just to put a little context to it: SEO plugins, keywords, trend research, and competition site review. Those are things that myself and my team will go through and make recommendations on what we target for search, which words we use when we create content, and how we stack up against competition and what they're doing and how to outperform them if that's the goal. So these are all things that will come into play when we talk to you about the redesign and what content is emphasized there and highlighted, and what's important and what's not important. So of the websites that I was shown, this seems to be the one I think that fits the mark for me, at least. And of course, this is all open to feedback. But what I liked about this hammer and nail is right off the bat, it visually gives you an opportunity to start an ongoing conversation at a top level where you can find out why people are visiting. So imagine this was design, and imagine this was construction. And by that, I mean, you'd go through to blogs would be my strategy here. So instantly we'll know whether people are looking for design or construction, and that'll give us some metrics, and then we'll know when they go through what they touch on, how long they stay, that kind of thing. But also at a top level, what I love about this is it's super simple. You may notice when you scroll through this, it's in essence one beautiful image with an overlay. It's highlighting some services here, construction projects underway, and then it has a little bit of a gallery opportunity. Overall, it hits all the necessary requirements. It's got some written content about the company, got a nice little picture of the owner, how to get a hold, a reCAPTCHA protected form, some social places like that. So I think it hits on a basic level. It's a beautiful, beautiful designed brochure with all the important details, high-level way to get in touch with you, and an opportunity for us to right out the gate try to get a bead on why people are coming here. If they only ever hit the phone number, we know they're just looking for someone local. If they go through design in a high number, we know that that's what people are looking for. And if they go through construction, same. So it starts to tell us something. I think it does a good job of putting everything in a streamlined fashion. It should load really quick. It should be mobile, all of the above. So this would be my pick to emulate something like this. And like I said, the only difference is they don't have any blog here. This is just a beautiful brochure. I would suggest that we make blog options here. Okay, so back to the proposal. Develop a Google My Business account. As I stated in my conversation, Originally, Google My Business is somewhat like LinkedIn Online for businesses, or in some context, it could be considered the phone book online. And everyone should have a listing there. They should be manning it. It's a priority. Google takes most of its nods, meaning it looks for search return answers from their own Google My Business accounts. After our meeting, I was able to get into your Google My Business account because you already had one. So I'm now positioned in a place to be already able to see some data here to give even better insight into my recommendations. I'm showing you currently a page of what your Google My Business listing looks like to the general public. Over here on the right would be what the general public would see. It would be positioned at the top of the page. This here is a nod to the fact that Google is aware it's me and I already have intimate access to the dashboard. So it's giving me some notifications, if you will, about what's been going on in this listing in my absence. If I was the general public, this would not show. To be clear, this would just be shifted over. So this is the location that is highly coveted that you already have, and we want to emphasize and reset it to be its most powerful for you. This is the back end of a Google My Business account. You can see nothing has really been created. It's just been opened. So there is some benefits to that. I will be working with you and alongside you to fulfill this in such a way that it elevates your brand online. That's number 2. Number 3, develop Facebook and a brand page. So once again, you have the component here. You have the capacity to just expand upon it. And like your Google My Business and your website, it is a historical record, and we have no need to go around what you already have. We're just going to emphasize it, expand upon it. I spoke in the office about the difference in language and conversation. When you're speaking to someone about and they found you in Google search, it's a completely different conversation than the one you're having here on Facebook. Facebook is someone who has opted in to follow you. They may be more involved with you in a sense of a passionate project or want to know more about you for different reasons, whereas in Google, it's focused around search and mechanical answers, like to the questions, right? So this is geared towards people, and this is geared towards winning a mechanical algorithm search. And then the last, citations and updating them and collecting media for a media page. So citations is anywhere your business is currently registered. Whether you did this or not, a lot of us find that we're listed at places like Yelp, Houzz. I think there was a couple of things that came up in conversation at your office as well, where you have boilerplate or had opened accounts and maybe not have revisited them. One of the mandates by Google these days is that citations stay up to date, they stay accurate, and they stay persistent across the internet. So I sometimes say to people, if you've ever ordered something online and you put in your mailing address and then it comes back and says, which one of these addresses did you mean? They're saying there's a vacillation in what they think they know about you, and they would like you to pick the definitive answer. So citations revolve around going online and looking for places where you are listed or should be listed and making sure that they are populated with the same exact data. Media online, I presume with a business that has the length of standing in the industry and the community that you probably have media pieces out there you've been written about, or magazines, something like that. That is incredibly useful when it comes to putting context to your brand, showing your long tail in the industry, your standing. I think if we do a little research there, maybe one of the things we could add here then is a media page. Certainly we could add those things into your Google My Business. Those would play well there. So those are the 4 places that I reiterate in this proposal that I mentioned to you. We're going to do website, Google My Business, Facebook page, and citations and media. And none of those are new. We're just going to be working within what you have. So the proposal to expand upon them and empower them on behalf of your business comes to $1,800. And I have a little bit of language here that says These fees listed are one-time fees. They are not ongoing fees. Their fees do not include things like photography, video, or stock photography should we need that to fulfill this brand emphasizing online project. I do ask for a 50% deposit on my proposed budget. The deposit tells me that you support my strategy and that I, on behalf of you, will be do my due diligence and be brisk in my actions and work to bringing you data as quick as we possibly can to support our objective of growth month over month. But I do collect the 50% balance on the project when it goes live. And for us, that would mean when the new website goes live. And then I give 30 days free support on the project itself and on the data that it collects. So we'll be looking at the data points behind all of these locations or platforms, which I call them, Facebook, Google, website. And we'll be trying to identify where we're hitting an audience and what we would like to do to rinse and repeat and build that conversation between you and your audience. So that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and send this off to you. And as we move forward, I like to send over these tutorials, and they may be about how to make a blog post, how to log into Facebook, how to give me access. I find that sending these along allows you to listen and view what I'm talking about if I'm not in the room. And over time, it can give you a nice little education library too to go back and refer to. So hopefully this has been helpful. Again, I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you on behalf of your brand. And I will send it off and wait for some feedback. Thanks.